Hello friends, in this video I will walk you through the difference between threading and async in Python. Okay, so before going to deep into the topic, what is thread and what is async IO, I'll show you something in my screen. So as you can see, we have some application being opened in the screens. One is Chrome and OBS Studio, again Chrome with some drawing tool and VS Code and the CMD and some screens are here. So these are these six screens are independent thread generated by the operating system. So whenever you watch any video, you see news in the a particular site of a particular browser, so they are threads generated by the operating system. Okay, so this is the very simple example I have shown you before going to practical. So before understanding thread or multi-thread, you should understand the single thread concept. So let's go to the practical. I'll show you there in order to understand it better. So just delete it and I'll show you a Python program here. Okay. So in the right hand side, I have opened a CMD to run the program, and left in the editor. You can use any editor, whatever you like it. I have just used VS Code because I like it. So the program name, as you can see, it's p1.py, and I create the print statement here and welcome in single thread program. Okay, simple line. No more complexity here, and I run this program Python and P1. Welcome in single threaded program. So could we think this program is a single threaded program? As soon as we run, we can show the output here. So first of all, whenever you create a program in any language, that is always called the single thread program, because that happens to execute one by one, step by step, in the linear format sequentially. Okay, and if I need to prove it, dev, I'll create some program having some lines, 2 and 3 lines, so that you can relate it better way. And just I need to call it and colon, and I am expecting that you know the basic of Python. And when I run this program, welcome in single threaded program. So what happened here, when I execute these programs, Python automatically creates a single thread that is called the p1.py, and your code of that file runs in that thread. So it means this whole program is a single thread that executes line by line, step by step. So first of all, f1 is called, it goes here and print this particular line, and after that, if I just print end of the program. By the way, I'm using AI assistant, Git pilot, so you know it very well. So that's it, automatically writes for me, right? So now what happened? Okay, save and again run this program. Welcome in single threaded program and end of the program. So as you can see, first of all, this line is printed, welcome in single threaded, and after that this line is printed. Why? Because every program Python runs is executed line by line in the sequentially format, in the linear format. So first of all, you know, the by default the function, you cannot call the function directly, you cannot execute the function directly until and unless you call by that name. So I call here, it goes here, and after that it is finished and it prints the end of the program. That is totally sequential concept, right? Okay, so why I'm saying it is by default a multi-threaded, because Python, as soon as you create a program, you run the program, Python creates a single thread, and whole code of that particular file is executed in that thread. If you want to prove, I can show you. So in Python, if you want to manage, I'm not going to show you the multi threading concept. I'm just showing you how to get the name of a particular thread. And if you want to print the name of this thread, and what is the default name Python uses for a particular program. So what we can do, we can do something like that. F double quotes, you know how to format, and the name of, and my AI is helping me to write the code. Okay, so thanks to AI. So this is the package threading, and I have imported it, and there is a method threading dot current thread dot name. So with the help of threading, you can manage multiple threads in Python, and I'll do it later on the video. And to print the name, just I have used threading dot current thread dot name. So let me run this program and I'll show you. Can you guess what is the name of uh, default thread in Python when you create a simple program, not using multi-thread? So as you can see, this is called the main thread. That is what I wanted to show you, and it proves that whenever you do any program in Python, Python runs in a particular thread, and that thread is called the main thread. That's why I just explained you. In by default, when in the operating system, I have opened these threads in the form of Chrome, OBS Studio, and all threads are independent. But the who is the main thread? The OS is your main thread, and here this program is your main thread. Okay, so this is the single threading, because I told you in single threading everything is happening sequentially, and this is the example of single thread. Now, how to achieve multi-threading and what is the meaning of multi-threading? Multi-threading is just, you can say, you have a multiple threads and each thread has its own task, and every thread is independent of each other. It means they are not going to execute sequentially. I'll show you in the diagram here. Yeah, here is the diagram. So one of them will be the main thread, and that particular thread will have multiple threads from the parent thread. The thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. Every thread has its own task, and it could be that if the thread 1 is busy in particular task, thread 2 could be executed, and either thread 3 and thread 4 could be executed. They are independent, but we have to manage multiple threads. So how to achieve this concept? So I'm not talking about the async, I'm talking about the multi-threading concept. So let me show you another example. So what I'll do, we can do it in the different ways in Python. We can create a class, we can create a simple function and make multi-threading. But let me explain in a simple format before going to the class example. So I'll just okay, after understanding single threading, let's try to understand what do you mean by the multi-threading. So this time I'll take a different approach in different examples so that you can understand threading better. But before going to that, could you give me answer of this program? Def worker, suppose a function, and print and print. Okay, so if you want to know what AI tool I am using for the automatic coding, so you can comment me, I'll answer there. But in this video, I'm not going to tell you. Okay, so I have a function, I've created a function worker and print something name, whatever the parameter, worker started, whatever the name, and it will print the task of this one from I2, and just I can just introduce to 3, and worker this one percentile name and I, the name, and what he will print, it will print the values 1 2 3. I think there should be no problem. And so before going to actually implementing threading, just let me know your answer. Worker, I'm just calling this function name 1 2 and 3. Okay, just 2 is sufficient. I'm going to run this program, and there is some problem. Okay, so actually the problem is Python version. I'm just using the latest Python version. It's Python 3, and actually earlier we didn't need to use parentheses when we have the print command, but in the Python 3 you have to use you have to surround your thing in parentheses. Now it will work, and this and this will work. So this was the problem. I think it is sorted and I can run it now. What I want to show you here, that it's a simple function, treat as a simple function, and just I'm calling this function, giving the name parameter and worker, and the giving the name parameter. The first is 1 and second is 2. So it will print side worker 1, worker 2, worker, and then 1 2 3 4 5 0 1 2, and then 2 and 0 1 2 as expected, because by default Python treats a program as a single thread and it will print everything as a sequentially linear format. So you can see 0 1 2, for the first function the name is 1, and after that the loop will run for 3 times 0 1 2, and after that 2, and then 0 1 2. So this is not the example of multi-threading, it's just example of single thread where we have called that function twicely. So how to achieve multi-threading here? So simple, what we have to do here, this is the threading package, and instead of that what we can do, th1 equal to threading start and start. This is important, and so I'll describe join later on in this video, but so first of all this one. So if you want to make a particular function to treat it as a thread, so you have to use the threading package, and there is a class threading.thread, and it will have 2 arguments for this current program, target. So whenever which particular function you are going to make target function, the thread function, so this is called worker. The target equal to worker, this function, and what is the name of this thread, th1, and the new object will be on th1, and same here, the same function we are going to call, but it is the second thread, th2. So by this way you can create the multiple threads in your Python program. And if you want to run that thread like I discussed one, as I described you, threading thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. So the same here, what I did, you can see this is thread 1, this is thread 2, and as many as thread you can create, whatever you want, right? So let me again run this program. Okay, now I want some wait here, time dot sleep. It should be time dot sleep, and I have to import it. So it should be fixed here. Yeah, it is fixed. I have imported this one. Now I run this program, so you can see now it is thread, and initially I just described that what is thread, what is multi-threading. When we have a multiple task, multiple threads running independently, it means thread 1 is not going to wait for thread 2, and thread 2 is not going to wait for thread 1 when the task is being run in the background. So I'll give you the example. I am this is the answer of the program when I didn't implement thread, but the same program I'm going to run, and you can see worker th1, worker th2, 0 0 1 1 2 2. Now this is not sequentially, as you can see here. And why this happened? When thread 1 called that function worker, and you can see the worker th1 started, and after that it prints, there is a gap of 1 second, and in between, when thread 1 is taking time or because of the sleep function, the another thread is in the running mode, and it takes, and it happens in the memory, and it printed worker th2 started, and in between again the thread 2 takes the command, and it prints the 0 and same 2 1 2. It means there is a race among the threads. So who is going to take first in the race, and it is purely the OS dependent. So this is how we achieve the multi-threading in the Python. So this is very, very important with the help of using threading and threading and thread. And now I want to show you something more. Print, and of all threads. Now, could you tell me something? When I run again this program, you can see end of all threads printed before finishing all the threads in the main thread. You can see here, because if I print here, if you want to make sure that main thread should be finished when all threads have been finished independently. So what can I do? Th join and th join. So what is the benefit of this one? You can now see the result. This will print at the end of the program and all of the threads. Why? Because join tells to the main thread that you should finish when all the child threads will be finished, and after that you can do it. So what is the benefit of multi-threading in the Python? So just assume that you have to make a program where you have to continuously checking the live price of the market, and the same parallel way, in the same simultaneously, you have to download some data from some URL. So how you are going to achieve that? That there is the only thing you can use the multi-threading. If you do not use the multi-threading, the things will be totally sequentially format, in the synchronous format. It means first you have to wait that all the download will be completed, and after that you are going to do another task. So instead of that, in the lot of programming language we use the threading concept. Okay, so this is what I described initially in this diagram, that you have a main thread, and after that main thread, it means the parent thread, will have some child thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. So this is a short example. Okay, so in the another videos, I will be explaining more about how to achieve the async IO and what is the difference between the threading and async. Okay, so just wait for the next video.